Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic day. Sorry about that noise that you're hearing. I'm actually under a hoop house right now, a very small one, but the rain's making a pretty large noise. So today's video, as you can tell probably by the title, I will be making a video about growing beets from seeding to harvest basically. So what you see here today is March 9th. I planted these a week ago, the beets. They have not germinated yet. There's a heater. You can see it's 60 degrees as of now. It turns on periodically as soon as the temperature drops below 60. And right now, not a single beet has germinated yet. It's definitely warm in here. Right now, it's a little bit chilly as I let in the cool air. But it really heats up here during the day when the sunlight is very amplified. The sun amplifies the warmth extremely under this foil, under this tarp, and you can see that right now there's nothing. And I'll bring you back when the bees have germinated. And I'll just take you through the whole year until the harvest. So we'll see how this goes. At this point, I would say I'm pretty optimistic. What I did with this soil, as you can see, there is a lot of leaves here. What I did is I raked leaves from all across, the yard, my neighbor's yard. I piled them here for the winter. They decomposed slightly. Then I mixed it in with some Pro Mix. You can see there it is, some perlite. And now I planted beets in that. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it turns out good. And I'll catch you all once they start germinating. I decided to give you guys an update on the beets. If you recall, I planted these on March 9th, the last update was on March 9th, and it was raining. The hoop house is still up, and you could see that the beets have germinated. They are just about everywhere I planted them. That's obviously a good. There has been a few spots of a few batches of beets, cells I guess, that have withered away, kind of wilted. That may be because it gets a little bit warm in here during the day, and I sometimes forget to uncover it. But as you can see, in some locations they're barely germinating, but in others there's just whole clumps. And I will be updating you guys as we go along in this future, through this year and through this harvest, through to harvest time. So I will catch you all guys when these start developing their first true leaves and start to look more like beet plants rather than just seedlings. So consider liking the video if you're enjoying this so far. So notice, guys, that the beets have really increased in size. There are still a few patches where the beets haven't germinated, and I said still, but probably they won't germinate in those areas. As you can see, everywhere else, the beets are pretty prolific. They have developed their first true leaves, or seed leaves, and then there are some beets developing their secondary leaves, as you can see right there. So yeah, overall, very thrilled with this, and I think that it's very good for these beets. You can see you have a fan right there, or a heater. It is 53 degrees in here now. It's 51 since I opened this thing up, and you can see it's rotating. I'll have to adjust it, so rotating a little bit in an awkward position. But notice that everywhere else the beets are growing, everything's fine. Some are a little bit smaller right there by the sides, some are a little bit bigger. But otherwise, I'm very happy with this, so I'll keep you guys updated. And we're back, guys. So it's been several weeks, really several days actually. Sorry about that, yeah. And you look at the beets; they have exploded. You can see they are really just doubled, if not tripled in size. You can see back there's a little bit less, but I am viewing it from the other end of the greenhouse, so it's a little bit different. There's a few dry spotches, but overall, the beets are progressing. You can see some are a bit smaller, still developing their secondary leaves. Some are on their way to developing their tertiary leaves. And really, this greenhouse gets really warm. There's the heater, really barely turns on now, but it's looking very promising. So basically what I did to give them a good head start was I just used some 10-10 organic fertilizer and 10-10-10, so all, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and they're just taking off. I don't think I've ever had such healthy beets under a hoop house, especially. So I'm just enthralled. And again, what I did with the soil is just made it very loose, Pro Mix with leaves, and they're loving it. And honestly, there's not much else to growing beets. I mean, you got to plant them half an inch under the soil. I planted 2 or 3 per cell. You could see 2 or 3 seeds, and they are cluster seeds, so more grow out from one than more plants grow out from more than one seed. So it's prolific. So I will keep you guys updated on this. I was wondering about what soil I used for growing the beets that are in the hoop house, which are right over there. Um, I'm using this plot of land right here to show you because I don't want to open up the hoop house today. It's very cold and I don't want to lose the precious heat. I use the same exact stuff in there as I used here. So what I did is I piled leaves from last fall all over the garden, and it left piles like that. You can see it's flat, and here it's more fluffy, and I'll tell you why. So there it's flattened. It was just leaves with a little bit of debris from the garden, and as you can see, it's actually snowing, and I can see some snowflakes. But I piled all of that, and that let alone would be very good growing beets in, as it would be very highly nutritious. The leaves have kind of decomposed already, but I also mixed it in with some Pro Mix. Now Pro Mix is this very good soil. It is from Canada, and it is if you don't use it, I highly advise that you should. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's so worthy, and it has perlite. It's a neutral acidity, neutral pH, that's what I meant to say. And you can see how just fluffy the soil is, and it has so much rich organic matter in it. And I also used some bone meal and blood meal for the beets as well, and you can see some things started growing here, these little baby maple trees. There's another one right there. But yeah, this is exactly what I used, and I just been watering them with a little bit of fertilizer as well, and that's what the beets, all they had. I planted them about 1/2 inch deep, and I've also used the Detroit dark red variety. So that's pretty much all you have to know. For planting, you can plant beets however you want. I planted mine in little cells about a couple of inches apart. You could do them in rows. I just found I have better success when I plant them in cells. So that's what I've been doing, and I'll keep you guys updated on those beets, and I'll keep giving you updates on how to grow them and how they are growing in a hoop house. So I haven't given you an update on the beets in a while, and holy cow, the beets have exploded. As you can see, they are very big, very healthy. There are a few batches where they just didn't really take off. They will, I'm pretty sure. You know, they're a little slower in some areas. Some areas are far behind, some areas a little bit less behind, and in some areas they're just massive. So it's a very prolific growing season for them so far. Only issue in a couple of the areas is with this heater. You can see I have a heater right there, and I forgot to rotate it, and it just blows heat here throughout most of the night, and you can see that some of the leaves just got absolutely fried. Now this shouldn't be detrimental to the beet. It should really be able to come back from this, but you can see that it's really not pleasing to the eye, but I think they'll be fine. And it's just a few, so if you do lose those, it's not going to be major. But you can see I also planted some tomatoes back there, so that is also some in addition to this hoop house. But yeah, insane growth. So I'll update you once I guess they start bulbing, as they have not yet. I haven't noticed any bulbing yet. They're just kind of like really long carrots, I guess, if you will, right now, really skinny carrots. So I'll catch you guys on the next update. So I do apologize about not showing the actual harvesting, but you know, it's just pulling out the beets. And honestly, as you can see, we got actually quite a bit. We have a whole, I think it's more than a 5-gallon bucket. It's a pretty large bucket, but it's about, I would say 30, maybe, yeah, around 30 pounds of beets. So very nice harvest. Most were smaller than this, though there was a few more decent sized ones, as you can see, like here. There weren't any truly massive ones, and that is just because of my failure to thin them out properly. But out of a, I guess, 40 square foot area, we got a whole bucket of beets. It's filled, packed, and you can see it's overflowing, and it's pretty heavy. So that's basically it for for this video, from seed to harvest. And now this will be tasty, and planted in February, harvested in mid-June, harvested in early March, really, or planted early March, really. and then harvested mid-June. So success, definitely a good success, and you can see look how long the taproot is. Very cool, and they will be definitely appreciated. I'll give them a lot of away to friends and family. So if you guys could consider liking this video, consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be uploading a couple other more videos about my garden as well. Stay tuned.